come in behind. So we just want to turn this over and look for the line in behind. Okay, and it is right there. Okay, so you can see the two lines are still on top, the two strings, and we're on the back one of it. So what we want to do now is put 2 double crochets into that very same one in the back. Okay, and now this is a 3 to 2 configuration, so that was your 2. So now the next 3 are going to get it. So now once you've done the first one, you're going to notice that it's going to naturally kind of bend over anyway and expose that third one very easily. It's just a matter of getting that first one done. So that was a 1. The next one is a 1. And the next one is a 1. So there's 3 ones. Okay, so it's the 3 to 2 configuration. So you had your 2 and then 1, 2, and 3. Just like so. And by now you can actually see that line is starting to form because you're grabbing it from the line in behind. So the next one is 2. Okay, and now the next one is 1. So why would I make you want to do this third line in behind? And the reason for it is that a lot of flower motifs are actually done with this concept because it makes things bend in really weird ways, but in flowers it actually makes it even more cooler. So our next one is a 2 before I get any further in my conversation. Okay, and now let's do our 3 ones again. So it's a perfect opportunity. This actual entire tutorial is going to create a little doily for you to keep, but it actually is a really great exercise for learning how to do circles and learning how to really examine your stitches and what you can do differently with your stitches instead of the same old boring thing all the time. So it was 1. Okay, so it was your 3 singles in a row, and now this is a double. And now let's do 3 singles again. So 3 not single crochet but double crochets, but they're in the single holes. Okay, and now we want to do the double again. Okay, and now we're going to do 3 singles in a row again. And again, it's very easy to tell if you've got to get distracted or you've got a kid running around, or you know the husband wants dinner. It's very easy for you to just come back and be able to pick it up because you can see your stitches. So working in the back area is not always the simplest thing to do, but you know, if it was simple then everybody would be doing it. But it really can create a different whole new look to your project by just changing where you're grabbing your material from. And this one is a double going in, and the next one is 3 singles again. So you can see you can motor on as soon as you got that first couple done. You'll notice that the material just wants to bend over on its own so that you can easily see that third string in the back. Now I actually, when I was teaching this at our crochet circle last night, you know, I tell everybody it's like a subway, and the subway has 3 lines, right? You have your tracks, and then it's called the third line, which is the hydro. So I classify that third string as like the third line of a subway, is that you have your 2 tracks in the front, and then the one in behind is the hydro. So that's kind of my analogy of it. I know it's kind of hardcore, and if you've never been on a subway, then you probably wouldn't know that, but it's the way I look at it, and you know, my way of thinking is not conventional. Okay, this one is a double. Now what we're going to do once we get this row done is that we're going to change our concept again, and we're now going to start creating the ruffles. This is actually a pretty quick tutorial, but it's a great, again, how to do your circles and really get comfortable with them. If at any point you feel like I'm speeding along too quickly, you can always put me on pause and just catch up with me. And if you think I'm going too slow or you get the point, then you can always speed me up. So okay, this one is a double going in. And just because I've decided to go in the back in this particular round, depending on what your project was, you could have done it at any different point than you wanted. And again, you don't need to be going in a round circle to grab that third line. You can do it on flat panel work or afghans if you wish as well. So don't limit yourself to what I'm teaching here. Just use the concept and push your crochet forward to give your crochet a unique look. So this is a double going in. And we are got 2 more to go, so 1 and 2. Okay, and so what we're going to do now is slip stitch it. Now does that make any sense? You got 2 here, you got 2 here, and you'd think that you would have to go 3, but the chain is the third because you've automatically jumped into the 2 here. So it makes actually complete sense to go in the top of the chain and pull through and through. So now let's begin. So this is where we are. So now let's begin to get the flares, and we're not going to film each one of the rotations. I'm just going to tell you how to get started, and we're going to go from there. I am so sorry everybody that we are going to go one more rotation, and this rotation is the 4 to 2. So the other one was 3 to 2. This is 4. So 1, 2, and 3. So chain up 3. So the very first one is going to get 2. I'm sorry everybody, I got ahead of myself by 1 round. Okay, so that was 2, and so the next 4, and I'm going into the regular stitches now. I'm not going to go into behind. Okay, so the next one's going to get 1. The next one's going to get 1. If I can jam it in there. The next one's going to get 1, and the next one's going to get 1. So are you seeing that how these things are growing? So it's a 4 to 2 configuration. So the next one is a 2. So you put 2 in there when it says 2, and now the next 4 coming up are just going to be 1 in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so the next one is going to get 2. So what I'm going to do is I got a long way to go around, so just continue that 4 to 2 configuration. So that was 2, so let's leave you again. So the next one is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the next one gets 2. Okay, so just keep on going on that count all the way around. We'll meet you back up, and then we're going to start our flaring out. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm coming back around, and just to let you know everybody, I had there was an actual cut in the material by the manufacturer that kind of ticks me off, which I should have actually just seen it beforehand and cut it and did it properly as if I was changing colors, but I didn't. So you're going to probably see that and say, well, okay, I've screwed up, but I haven't. So we're just going to finish off everybody, and we're just going to slip stitch it. So now what we're going to do is just into the top of the line just like we did before, and now what we're going to do is start the flaring out that we have here. And there's 2 rows, sorry, there's 1 row of flaring out altogether. Okay, so let's begin to do that, and that's in the next step. Okay, so let's create the flare or the ruffle, and it's only 1 rotation around, but this rotation actually takes a long time to do. So here we go. So let's chain up 3, so 1, 2, and 3. And now what we want to do is put 3 double crochets into the very next stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. So you can see that there's too many stitches for that one little hole, and that's what creates the ruffles. So the very next stitch is going to be 3. So what I want you to do, everybody, is just go around the circle, putting 3 double crochets into each one of the stitches as you go. And it won't take long, and you'll start to notice the ruffle is already beginning to take shape. So just 1, 2, and 3, and then just move it along to the next stitch, 1, 2, and 3. So begin to do that, everybody, and we'll meet you back up on the other side, and it'll take you a little bit of time to get around, but it's well worth the effort, I think. So we're now just finishing up, coming all the way around, and I just got one more stitch, well, one more hole to go. I still got to put my 3 in there like we have been all along. It takes a while to go around on this edge because you are doing 3 double crochets, so essentially you've just increased your diameter by 3, which is creating the fabulous ruffles. And again, to attach, just come in the top of the first chain in through. So what's different about this one versus the one in the background, and it's the edging. The edging on the other one looks really random, and in actual fact it's not, but it actually will change the entire look of your project by making it more random as well. So what we want to do now to get that randomness, you can stop here if you wish, but I like it random. I think it's a little more sexier looking. So let's chain up 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and so the very next stitch gets 1 single crochet. So just stick in your needle, grab the material through, and pull through. So 1, 2, and 3. The next stitch, okay, pull through, thing. So 1, 2, and 3 into the next stitch. So every stitch is going to get a single crochet, and you're going to chain 3 in between each one. So 1, 2, and 3, single. So you can already see now that the random edge is now being changed by just doing this simple technique. So go all the way around, everybody, and we're just going to cast off next, and this round will take you a little bit of time as well off camera, so I will continue it along and we'll finish up this project in just a few moments. Well, we're coming up to the final end, and I'm sweating. I had to just zoom around the edge. As you can see, it almost looks like a coral reef kind of idea. And so I got one more stitch to go, and just going to go in. But you want to make sure that you extend into the next where you started as well. So make sure you do chain 3, and then just fasten it down to where you did the other chain, okay? So if you do that, it'll make the whole thing look consistent. So you just want to slip it together. So just slip it through and through. And now we just want to grab your fancy dancy scissors over your hand, just like I always do. Over, and then pull that material up. And then what I would do is just weave it in, but just pull it through. Give it another little tie, just like so. And now take that edge, sorry, take that string now and just weave it into your edge. We've shown how to weave on this channel before, and we're just, it's no different. We just want to weave it, weave it, weave it. You know, if you're giving it to somebody that you think is going to be tugging on this thing, then you're going to want to make sure you get a few good wraps around in there. Just like so. So once you get that, stretch it out so that if somebody was going to stretch your work, and then safely just trim off the excess. So let's put that down, and we're also, this is the center point area here. We can safely trim that because we were working away with that around the ring, so we can safely cut that down. And now let's put this down, just like so. And by the way, the ball that I used was a softy, chunky, variegated yarn. I used nearly the entire thing, so it's a very misleading project for yarn. So let's do that, and let's just fluff it out. Put our candle in. Voila! Let's lift our camera up so you can see there is your nice centerpiece. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today, and for more great patterns, check out AllFreeCrochet.com, and of course the Crochet Crowd on the YouTube network. Thank you, everybody. My name is Michael Selleck.